Welcome to People, Power, and Politics. Hard talk, riveting interviews, community updates, in-depth analysis. That's People, Power, and Politics. We tell it to you as it is. No holds barred. You are the people, you have the power. We bring you the politics. To listen to our show, be a guest, or to advertise, visit www.pppradio.nyc. That's www.pppradio.nyc.
A very warm welcome to everyone. We are joined by a very special guest, Miss Yvette Rennie, who is the president of Juve City International. Welcome. So good to have you here with us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having Juve City International organization here today.
Our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about Juve.
Juve, it's a beautiful production that we brought with us as we come to the diaspora in Americas. It really signifies the importance of what have been happening to us, what had happened to us, our ancestors, during the slavery period of our lives. And it signifies how we rebelled throughout the Caribbean from different angles. You have in Grenada, they portray the jab. You will see people painted with oil and their skins are looking greasy. But that happened, and that's the rebellions when they were sent into the sugarcane, the blazing sugarcane, to cut the sugarcane. Then you go into Trinidad aspect of it. We rebel when the people who have enslaved us did not want us to enjoy a carnival that they had created. So we were mocking the so-called slave masters.
So Juve has a lot of cultural and historical significance.
Definitely. And it is important, although at the present moment we do enjoy carnival with the beads and the bikini, but it's important that we maintain that type of documentary of what really happened to us. What happened to us when we were dropped throughout the Caribbean. And if you look at Juve, you can link it also to Juneteenth. So there's that bit of history that from the Americas into the Caribbean and then back to America, where we are showcasing what has happened to us and how we are linking it with Juneteenth.
Okay. So Saturday, July the 22nd, you have a launching of Juve. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Our launching of Juve on July the 22nd, and it will be at the last judging point, which is on Nostrand Avenue in front of Allen Bakery, and also along that line. What we are doing is showcasing the mass bands, the steel bands, the rhythm bands, and the individual for people to come out and see what they are going to get into, what our culture brings to this arena that we now call our home.
So a preview, so to speak, a little taste.
Yes, it will be a little taste. And also at that particular time, people can come and choose what band they want to perform in.
Mm-hmm.
May it be, and I cannot call names because it would look like if I'm prefacing that band, but any mass band that they choose, that they will be able to come and see the mass band and partake when Juve starts.
So people can sign up right there and then that day.
Definitely. There will be tables that the groups assigned, and they can sign up to whatever band they chose, the band of their choice that they would like to be part of.
Now, Miss Rennie, Juve is fun, it's excitement, it's part of our culture and our history, but there's also some safety concerns. So for those persons who may be a little bit hesitant, how can you reassure them? What can you say to them?
Well, after the unfortunate incident that they linked to Juve, which the media have been doing for the past years that we have been operating in Brooklyn, they have a tendency to link negativity around my culture.
Our culture.
Our culture. Our culture. And maybe an incident happened in Queens, somehow it ends up within the Caribbean culture.
Mm-hmm.
It happened in Staten Island, it ends up. So my message to the media, the mainstream media, stop dehumanizing our culture. Our culture is a production that brings in billions of dollars. The last statistical data that was showed that was over $500 million. And that was done by a gentleman by the name of Don Ford, and it was done about 2012. So by now, it is much more money. Mm-hmm. But somehow, the mainstream media would not cite that, but they will cite the negative part of it. So here we are bringing a production to this here town. We are spending monies to make the production beautiful, awesome, enjoyable, but the economic piece of it we are not enjoying. There are other peoples who are enjoying that. Mainly the people who own the drinks, the food, and whatever there is that they can make money from. Now, after the incident, the then Mayor Bill de Blasio and the then borough president, Eric Adams, called all the stakeholders to the table. Mm-hmm. Juve City International, West Indian Day American Association, United States Steel Band Association, the clergies, the different organizations, the violent interrupters, because there were many people calling for our activity to be shut down. So what they did was to put a safety guard around us. It was difficult, but we did it. There was some rebellion and us doing it within our community, some also political people, some religious people, but we were determined to break through that type of thinking and let people understand. There were a lot of outreach in the community, a lot of flyers. We create a segment called #WeAreJuve, highlighting the positiveness of what we are doing, showcasing our young children learning to play the steel band, the only instrument to be invented in the 21st century that came out of Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm. So it's important that that instrument be highlighted, because that instrument is inside the school system that they are using to bridge our children and to make our children understand our culture.
So, Ms. Rennie, I know that Brooklyn Juve has some supporters, some sponsors, but there's always a need for more support, whether it's in the form of sponsorship in monetary donations, other donations, volunteering. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. As everything else, there's a cost. Mm-hmm. there is a high insurance cost. There's a cost for security guards. There's a cost for volunteer. Although they are volunteers, you still want to give them a bit of stipend. Mm-hmm. And also, since we are in a competition mode, we would like to reward the mass bands, the steel bands, who have put out thousands of dollars to make this event happen. So there is a first prize, a second prize, and a third prize within each categories. And the categories are the steel band, the bomb and the sound, the calypso, the bomb and the sound, and also the masqueraders and individuals and rhythm. Therefore, we are urging our community to help us with what we are doing. We are asking the businesses who we support along the route, especially Nostrand Avenue, sometime in Empire Boulevard, Flatbush Avenue, to help us with what we are doing, because we are the consumers of their institutions. So we are pleading, and I do go around with letters asking for support to help our young people, to help us to keep them off the street, because our art form help our young people not to get into negativity, because the art form has a format of a family. So you'll find that the steel band, whatever the steel band, is family oriented. There's the grandparents, there's the parents, and there's the children. And in order for us to make sure that our children are safe, we need help. We need help to help them. Sometimes we give them school books. Sometimes we give them book bags. Sometimes we give them pencils. All this to allow them to have a comfortable enjoyment of what they are doing, because some of their families may not be able to afford, so we are there to help.
Okay, so how can one, get more information if they want to be a part of that, to support?
Definitely, you can call 718-636-8029 or our Facebook page, Juve City International.
All right. So, Miss Rennie, we are having the launch of Brooklyn Juve 2023 on Saturday, July the 22nd from 12 noon to 6 p.m. in front of Allen Bakery, right up to Little Mo Wine Spirits from 1109 through to 1125 Nostrand Avenue. And the big Juve is happening in September, right?
Yes, September the 4th. And it starts from Grand Army Plaza by the library. Mm-hmm. We'll come Flatbush Avenue. We make a left onto Empire Boulevard, and then we make a right onto Nostrand Avenue down to Midwood, and that's the end. Mm-hmm. Our Juve is the steel band instrument and drums only. We do not include DJs. It's our instrument in the natural format that we want to showcase. So that's a very important for people to know. If through the years, it was difficult for us to keep the DJs out, but they understood by several educational pieces what we are doing or what we are trying to do, highlighting the instrument in its most natural format.
All right. So thank you so much, and wishing you much success for Saturday, July 22nd, the launch. And of course, we'll be talking to you later on about September, the big Juve event.
Thank you very much. And I do appreciate this interview so people can hear the message, the importance, and also the importance of the bigger grouping of people. Stop dehumanizing my culture.
our culture.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to People Power in Politics. Hard talk, riveting interviews, community updates, in-depth analysis. That's People Power in Politics. We tell it to you as it is. No holds barred. You are the people, you have the power. We bring you the politics. To listen to our show, be a guest, or to advertise, visit www.pppradio.nyc. That's www.pppradio.nyc.